Hello everyone, this is God in the Center with Matthew. Today we are still in the book of Job. This is a long little book. It's not really crazy long, but I done skipped about 9 chapters. Because it keeps going on. The reason why I skipped and got into this, I just opened up and this is where it came to actually this morning. And I've got a bunch of little red writing on the side. Back when I was in rehab in my 20s, this book, this is the Bible I had, and so I normally don't go off of notes. I normally don't, but my younger self actually seen some stuff that my older self didn't see this morning when I read over this. Because I read this, then I read the notes I wrote, and like my eyes was open back then to different things. And I'm glad these notes are here because it's really just eye-opening. Because like sometimes you forget things, sometimes you just forget things, or you don't really. I don't know. Sometimes stuff just escapes you, your memory. And I'm glad these little notes here. So I'm going to read, and I may just read until I get to. I may read the first 12 verses, then I may read what I got, because I've got little things, I don't know what you call it, but it's like where I wrote my little thing there. So I'm going to go verse 1. Then Job answered and said, "How long will you torment my soul and break me into pieces with words? These 10 times you have reproached me. You are not ashamed that you have wronged me. And if indeed I have erred, my error remains with me. If indeed you exalt yourself against me, and plead my disgrace against me, know then that God has wronged me, and has surrounded me with his net. If I cry out concerning wrong, I am not heard. If I cry aloud, there is no justice. He has fenced up my way that I cannot pass, and has set darkness in my path. He has stripped me of my glory, and taken the crown from my head. He breaks me down on every side, and I am gone. My hope he has uprooted like a tree, and he has kindled with wrath against me, and he counts me as one of his enemies. His troops come together and builds up their road against me. They encamp all around my tent." So that's the first 12 verses, and I'm going to read what I had wrote and probably go over some of that. So Job right now has just been through a lot. And what I'm fixing to read, I've been through a lot. I was actually just coming out of some of this stuff. So I'm going to start reading. I'm going to read a little bit what I wrote. I felt for many years I was in great error through God. Allowed darkness to enter my life so that I would humble myself. I felt for many years as if God gave up on me, and I was actually his enemy. Satan's army surrounded me and nearly killed me. So this was I forgot that I don't really forget, but like I forgot the pain that I was in at this time. I did thank God had forsaken, because you know I've done discussed over the 3 tragedies that happened in my life, and in previous chapters. I'm not going to go over all that today, but you know, I was trying to drown my sorrows with drugs and alcohol. And it got to some point to where I couldn't I just couldn't. I had the disease that took over, the addiction disease that took over. People say it's not a disease. People that hadn't never been addicted to nothing does not know what it's like. So you can't say, because like once the person gets into that spiral, there's little hope of them getting out of there. The only way is through God. That's the only way I found out, and that's the only way that I've seen other people is through a spiritual connection with God. And some people they pray to something they don't even know, that like they get into they're grasping for straws, and they do pray to God, but they're not necessarily in this thing. And it's sad that that's what happens sometimes. It just what happens sometimes in this addiction, because the big book actually just talks about a higher power to people, but they're talking about Jesus. I mean, because we say the Lord's Prayer and all that stuff at the end. I mean, a fool would have to just convince herself that it's some other God or some other spirit or something like that the AA book is talking about. I mean, you just had to be a moron to believe that it was something else. That's just my opinion. So, Job's really going through it. Job's saying that God's the enemy, and I believe there's some people out here that's probably going through some bad things, and they're like, wise, like people might have been on the fence with God even, and then something really bad just has happened. I know my one of my best friends, he may be my best friend, because I ain't got too many of them. He just got married, I don't know, roughly about 2 years ago. They just had a baby, and his wife's sister, I don't know, she's got about 3 kids, and her husband and stuff. They was riding from a birthday party, and drunk driver hit them and messed a bunch of them up. But the kid that birthday was, they took him off life support. I think it was last Saturday or something, or maybe it was this Saturday. It wasn't too long ago, so like the family's grieving and stuff, and I feel like that, if you was on the fence at all, and something like that happened, then you'd be angry with God, because I know my parents went through that with my sister. So things can happen sometimes, and you believe God's just punishing you, but the devil's still here in this world, and the devil has power to do what he wants to do, and then just life happens. Free will of people. I mean, that guy he had a free will to go get drunk, and then it caused problems. God's not going to intervene in every little situation. Prayer is very important, but life also just sort of happens, and we can't blame God for life happening. A lot of people will, and I've been guilty of it. I've cursed God, and I've been angry with God, and I've been happy with God, and it's just been a roller coaster of emotions with God. But I do know that He is here for us, and He is my comforter, just like Job. Job's really angry with Him right now, but it's going to get down. You're like a couple of verses, or toward the end, I'm going to talk about, and I'll say this is what I was talking about. But Job really has been through the ringer. And, I was going through the ringer. Everybody's, like I've told y'all, everybody's level of pain and everybody's level of hurt is different. So I'm going to go to verse 13 now. I'm going to go 13 through 18. He has removed my brothers far from me, and my acquaintances are completely estranged from me. My relatives have failed. My close friends have forgotten me. Those who dwell in my house and my maidservants count me as a stranger. I'm an alien in their sight. I call my servant, but he gives me no answer. I beg him. Oh no. My breath is offensive to my wife, and I am repulsive to the children of my own body. Even young children despise me. Man, it's bad. He's saying even young children despise him. you got to be doing something pretty rough for a kid to despise you. Uh, so now I'm gonna read my little notes over on the side on what my thoughts was, my 20-something-year-old thoughts was on these verses. Every single person I know had gave up on me. People hated me for what I had become and had despised me. I mean, so I was feeling Job, man. I was going through a Job moment at this. Uh, my mom gave up on me, my grannies and everything gave up on me, all my friends that gave up on me. I mean, even the drug dealers that gave up on me. It was that point to where it was so bad that like everybody had just didn't believe in anything. Didn't believe in anything in me, and had forsaken me. I had become such a terrible human being, and such I was just a walking dead man. I was just waiting on death to come. I did not want to live no more. I was not happy. I did not have the peace of Jesus in me. It was bad. When I wrote this though, I had started regaining some respect and some part of dignity, and I realized what had been going on. It took me. I was down in that little rehab for right at 11 months. I should have stayed there longer because I had one more month of commitment for being a counselor. I was a full counselor there, and I left over some stupid girl that I don't even. I think she's dead now. I hate to say it, but I believe she's dead. Because I stayed in communication with her for a little bit through, what was that thing, MySpace for a little while, and then Facebook, and then I think she's dead. I mean, God rest her soul. I hope she's not, but I really do believe it, because there towards the end, it wasn't looking so good for her. She was a heroin junkie. I never really got onto that little fix, and I'm very grateful to God that never was a thing for me. The needles and all that stuff, I never really that never really was my thing. So I'm gonna go to verse 19 through 22 now. I rise and they speak against me. All my close friends abhor me, and those whom I love have turned against me. My bone clings to my skin and to my flesh, and I have escaped by the skin of my teeth. Have pity on me, O you my friends, for the hands of God have struck me. Why do you persecute me as God does? And are you not satisfied with my flesh? So, I'm going to read the little notes again that I wrote. I don't know, one of them other ones was in red and these were different. I don't know, it was I just now noticed that. God gave me pity and other chance at life. My flesh is evil. Our flesh is evil. Our flesh goes on to desire things that the Spirit doesn't. Our spirit's the only good thing in us. If we've been baptized, we have a clean spirit, through the baptism. So the flesh, even though we are, say you even go to church every Sunday and you pray all the time, there's still something going on that is not right, but you either you do it or you have desires to do it. Some people actually follow through with the desire. Some people's able to not. Some people's able to tame the flesh to a degree. This flesh, this bag of bones, though, that it wants what it wants, and like it's up to us to crucify it, so to speak. Crucify your flesh. It talks about that in the New Testament. That may be the next lesson I do in there. I'm going to stay in Job to the very end. I'm not going to read every chapter, but I am. This is a very important little deal. because if you watch, and you're going to see what ends up, how the story ends up. It ends up pretty good. I mean, my story's still going on, so I'm not really completely to the end of where Job is at the end. You know, I still go through stuff, and I still beg God and still plead God for different things going on, and it's a struggle, and I believe that anybody that's watching can relate to, maybe not relate to the drugs and the alcohol, but like just relate to everyday life. Like I said, the story about the lady, her you know, the car wreck with the drunk driver, and just maybe there's just other situations you can just feel your situation in with what's going on with Job, and you know, it's rough. This world's not meant for us to be here forever. You know, our home is in heaven with God, and I plead anybody that has not been baptized, I plead you today to reach out to me, or start going to a church that will. I know the Church of Christ is really big on it. That's the reason why I go there. There's some things I'm a little confused on about what they do, but like, it's nothing big. I think everything every church has some little something in it that's like a little confusing or something. I try to just go by what I read, and I explain the way I see it, the way the Spirit leads me. That's the only way I can do it, through the way the Spirit guides me. The Spirit will tell me whether it's right or wrong, you know. And then I try to put that on to y'all on what the Spirit guides me, because I do pray about all this, and I do. God has called me to do this, so like I'm not out here begging for no money or nothing like that. It would be nice to be able to raise some money at some point, and what I would like, if I had money, I'd like to build some, like, get these old houses that's just nobody's living in them, and you know, restore them and just give them away. That's what I would like to do if I just had money. You know, if I had money to help people, that would be what I would do. There's so many people that just struggles, and there's so many houses that's just sitting here that nobody's living in, and it'd be nice to be able to bless somebody with that. So anyways, I'm going to go on to verse 23 through 26. Oh, that my words were written. Oh, that they were inscribed in a book, that they were engraved on a rock with an iron pen and lead forever. For I know that my Redeemer lives, and he shall stand at last on the earth. So listen here. He's saying, for I know that my Redeemer lives, and that he shall stand at last on earth. So he's saying that the Redeemer's coming. So you know, I've told you about some foreshadowing a couple lessons ago. Maybe it was last week. It was last week or the week before last. The foreshadowings I've seen of Jesus in this book of Job that I've never seen before. But I did see this as a kid, or as a 20-something-year-old, because it says Jesus is that glorious Redeemer. That's what I wrote. I highlighted that little section and I put Jesus is that glorious Redeemer. So Job's foreshadowing Jesus coming here on earth. So I'm gonna keep reading. And after my skin is destroyed, this I know, that in my flesh I shall see God. So even through all this torment stuff he's going through, he knows that Jesus is coming. He'll be here on earth at some point, is what he's saying. And he knows that when he dies, he's going to see God. So he does know that, like, you know, that he's got faith through all this torment and all this struggle, that God, he will see God. And that's what I know. I know that no matter what I'm going through, that one day I will see God. And it's just trying to live the best life I can while I'm here, and trying to reach as many souls as I can while I'm here. That's what God wants me to do. So I'm going to verse 27 now. I'm going to finish this out, 27 through 29. Whom I shall see for myself, and my eyes shall behold, and not another. How my heart yearns within me. If you should say, how shall we persecute him, since the root of the matter is found in me? Oh Lord. There's more. I didn't see that. Right here. If you shall say, how shall we persecute him? Job's asking a question. Since the root of the matter is not found, since the root of the matter is found in me. Man, I've never seen that before. This is another foreshadowing of Jesus here. If you should say, how shall we persecute him? Jesus was blameless. Since the root of the matter is found in me, the root of the matter is found in us, the root of the matter was found in them people. So Jesus got persecuted for our sins. Jesus got persecuted for our sins. Now, we all know that if the people has been listening, but I never knew that this little section right here was in Job. The Spirit just keeps revealing stuff to me, and it's a very beautiful thing when it happens. I'm going to read the very last verse. Be afraid of the sword for yourselves, for wrath brings the punishment of the sword, that you may know there is judgment. So what I didn't really even, as a kid, I didn't see that. So I would have put that in my little notes, because I put everything else in the notes. What I did write in these notes is, be careful in disobeying God. And that was over the last 27 through 29 is what I had, the little thing there. So there was some foreshadowing going on. And I don't know where I'm going to be at. I know I'll be in the book of Job next week, but I'm not sure how far I'm going to jump. I may just go to the next one, and I may go to the very end. Who knows where the Spirit leads me. Like I said, the Spirit led me this morning by this. That's the first page I opened up in Job. I was